All right, hi everyone. Welcome to today's event. I'm Jason Gumpert from MSDynamicsWorld.com. Really pleased to be able to be here with you today for our next Portals community call. This is our November 2023 event. And as always, I'm joined by Nick Hayduk, our host here, who will be taking things over in just a moment. He'll also be introducing some very special guests that we have today because it is our ISV showcase session today, and that should be a lot of fun. A couple of notes as we begin. First, we always welcome your questions during the event, really at any point, especially as our presenters go through their various demos and presentations that you're going to see here. Please do enter those questions. I know Nick will be making plenty of time to answer those and to let our guests answer questions too. We're also recording today's event. We will be sharing that with all of you after the session ends. So with that, I think we are ready to begin. Nick, I'm going to hand things over to you. And Nick, you are muted.
I was just talking really quietly. That'll be my excuse today. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Glad you could make it out today. We're doing something a little different today, as Jason mentioned. We've got our ISV showcase that will cover whether they're integrations with Power Pages or other solutions that are similar, offering Power or Portals technologies on top of Dataverse. And I think it was in one of my recent memes that we put out there that it's kind of a little bit of a dirty secret that maybe Power Pages isn't for everyone. There are other solutions out there, so we've got a solution for that as well. So very happy to have some special guests with us today to show us some technologies related to Portals and the Power Platform.
Nick, we're also not seeing your slides moving yet.
Sorry, I haven't. Can you see it now? Did that move?
Yes, now it's
okay. Perfect. Yes. So quick introduction. My name is Nicholas Hayduk. I'm the president of Engineered Code based here in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm a Microsoft MVP that's been working with Power Pages for the last 13, 14 years or so. My career began at ADX Studio, which was the company that originally built Power Pages before being acquired by Microsoft. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, please feel free to do that. We've also got we've got a Twitter, or X, I guess. Maybe I should update that, where we kind of post all the latest news. We've got the blog that we do kind of every month. We've got our YouTube channel where we put out a tip every week. We've also got the podcast that I do with George Dubinsky, Refresh the Cache. So lots of ways to keep up to date on Power Pages stuff. If you're so interested, please give those a follow if you are interested. As always, just want to say thanks to Jason and the entire team over at MS Dynamics World, especially this month, which is there was a bit more paperwork and overhead associated with having a few extra presenters on the call. So thanks to Jason for not even doing it begrudgingly. He was happy to help. So thank you to Jason for helping us organize this call. Thanks for the support through all the years. I think this would be the end of year number 4, if I'm recalling correctly. So we'll start up again in January for year 5, unless someone tells me that they don't want these anymore. So so our agenda, we do have some news before we get to our topic, which again is the showcase for Power Pages or Portals related ISVs in the Power Platform space. We'll talk about the time of the next community call, and if we have time after all the presentations, if you do have any questions, we'll have some time here, I expect, at the end. So let's quickly get through the news so that we can get to our featured presenters of the day. This month there were, what do I have here, 6 new posts on the blog, like the Power Pages blog. You can see here lots of stuff that's coming out in preview. I think one of the big ones is the Power Automate integration is now GA. So that means a lot of people will start using that in production. There are a few kind of bonus features that weren't part of preview that are there. There's some kind of context to where stuff and just some kind of, I think the UI was enhanced a little bit. But yeah, if you haven't played around yet with the Power Automate integration, it's honestly something I'm hearing more and more and more. Like it's opening up a lot of use cases that before would have required custom code. And even from the Microsoft team, when people are, can we get this? A good example was someone was asking about support for custom actions in the web API. And, not that we don't want custom actions in the web API, but if you do have to call some custom actions, you can do that using the Power Automate integration now as well. So that's a big thing. Certainly recommend looking into that if that's something that's new to you, but I think that's going to open up a whole range of possibilities that weren't possible before without writing a bunch of code. The other big one that came out was online payments, which is available in preview. So that is an integration, I believe it is with Stripe, and allows you to put payment, the ability to capture payment on forms. Payment is something we get asked about all the time. E-commerce, payment, all of that sort of stuff, especially since that was something that did exist in the old kind of ADX Studio days and was one of the things that didn't make its way into the Microsoft version of the product. So there is now an integration with Stripe that you can turn on with your Power Pages site, and I do expect that the payment providers will, that list will grow, as well as it just kind of showing you, how you could do an integration yourself as well if there's something you need custom. So online payments with Power Pages, I think that's a lot of people are going to be happy to hear about that. There is commenting features within the portal or within the Power Pages Design Studio. So if you got multiple people working on the same site, the ability to put comments in the studio and kind of collaborate on building that site together. The rest of these are essentially some things that are behind the scenes. So the licensing and capacity dashboard, that's in the Power Platform Admin Center. Essentially tells you, what kind of licensing do you have, how much are you using, your logins, your page views, all that sort of stuff. So whereas before the way that you had to look at that is you kind of had to download a spreadsheet and it wasn't necessarily as pretty. I think those are actually implemented using Power BI. But yeah, so there's some licensing and capacity dashboards. There's also some security and analytics dashboard. There's a security and analytics dashboard as well that will show you kind of what sites you have, whether they're enabled, whether they're public, whether they're private, that sort of stuff. And finally, we've got that security checker and meter. So that is the site checker. I believe that this is the case. It's the site checker that we've all known and loved for the last few years that existed way back in the day in the Portals Admin Center, now in the Power Platform Admin Center. It's now available directly within the Power Pages Design Studio. So the reason that's helpful is not all of your makers you're necessarily going to want to be having them in the Power Platform Admin Center, but you may have wanted them to have access to that site checker. So now it is available directly within the Power Pages Design Studio as well. So yeah, lots happening. You can see right now the focus is that we're getting kind of new dashboards related to licensing security. There's been quite a few of those dashboard type things in the Power Platform Admin Center. That seems to be the focus. I think one of the reasons that we're seeing so many of those right now, I think it's a relatively quick win, right? Like if you've ever written a Power BI dashboard before, it's not something that in theory will take years and years and years. So I expect those are relatively quick wins for the product team to get out there. So I've seen quite a few of those recently. So that's what we have in terms of news for this month. Like I said, lots of things going on. We used to have months and months between community calls where there was no official news from Microsoft. So to have 6 things in 1 month, it's nice to see. Tough to keep up, but nice to see. All right, so as we've mentioned a few times here, let's get right into today's topic, which is a Power Pages ISV showcase, or portals, ISVs, essentially third-party vendors that have solutions that are going to help you out building external portals for Power Platform for Dataverse. So we've got three organizations with us today. The first one that actually comes from Engineered Code. We have a solution called ecLearn, which is an LMS for Power Pages. So we've got Jose from Engineered Code with us today, who's prepared a video for us. So I am going to start that video here, and then we'll have Jose available if there are any questions here. So let me see if I can stumble through trying to get this up. Okay. Jason, are you able to confirm? Can you see the video now?
Yep, we see it.
Okay, so if I hit play, I'm going to assume it's playing. If not,
hello everyone, welcome to the 44th Portal Community Call in collaboration with MS Dynamics World. My name is Jose Sharif, the product manager of ecLearn, the learning management system built on top of Microsoft Dataverse and developed by Engineered Code. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to Nick Haydick as the owner of Engineered Code and Jason Gumpert from MS Dynamics World to have the opportunity of being in this session and introducing our Power Pages solution that we have announced recently. First, let's have a look at what is a learning management system called LMS. An e-learning platform, or LMS, is used to allow users to take their courses, and it provides the opportunity to develop, deliver, and track the training. The learning materials could be courses, instructions, quizzes, and tracking the progress of the learners in the platform. The use cases of ecLearn can be expanded beyond internal training, and it can also enable the organizations to have their external training as well. The examples of use cases would be for employee onboarding, skills development, management training, qualifications renewal, customer training, business partners, vendors or suppliers training. ecLearn has Dataverse at its core. Having it built on top of Dataverse enables the Microsoft ecosystem users to have the scalability, reliability, accessibility, and security either for their internal or external use cases. The Business Application Suite users can benefit from the integration with Power Platform products, including Power Pages, model-driven Power Apps, Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement, Power BI for monitoring and reporting, Power Virtual Agents for supports and documentations that of course we have recently noticed it's renamed to Microsoft Copilot Studio, or even Power Automate for automation and setting cloud flows. Now let's go to see how ecLearn can consolidate business operations with e-learning data into a single streamlined environment, one less silo. We have utilized Power Pages to develop ecLearn. As we are in the Portals community call, I'm glad to say that our solution enables learning and taking courses for external audiences as well. We have built its integration with Power Pages sites by custom code and out-of-the-box Power Pages list functionality. ecLearn has the advantage of having familiar user interface for Microsoft Business Application Suite users. Now I'm going to show you how to take a course in Power Apps and also in an external Power Pages site as a learner. As a learner, I will have the access and can choose different categories of courses like available courses, completed, inactive, or in progress ones. I'm going to open the Power Pages training, the 9-module training program designed by Engineered Code that also has continuous support, continuous updating content, related resources, and monthly office hours. As a learner, I can see the record of my previous attempts and all other related fields. By clicking on the Launch button, I can take the course and have access to all the associated content. For instance, now I can see the video for the first module and all of its related resources, hyperlinks, tables, different styles of content, and by going to the next page, I will have the quiz for assessment. By answering the questions, the results can be shown and recorded in the system. ecLearn can have different passing marks, requirements, and number of attempts customized for each course. Now I can go to the next module, or I can save my progress, or even complete the course and exit. Now let's try to take the course in an external Power Pages site. where I can have access to my dashboard, track my progress, and take the Power Pages training. The experience is exact same. By submitting the quiz, its associated result will be recorded as my progress as an external learner. The next topic that I would like to discuss today is the way that you can create the courses by the way you need, you want, you desire. For this purpose, we have made a built-in course authoring tool in ecLearn. So by this one, you will have the opportunity to create the courses, edit the styles, the content, embed media and external links, and create the assessment and quizzes in 3 different types. In addition, we have provided the opportunity of uploading courses as well. This feature is compatible with the formats of SCORM 1.2, SCORM 2004, AICC, XAPI, and CMI 5. Now I'm going to show how it will work for you. For the course administration, I will have a list of courses that we have created previously, and also we can create a new one to set the name, the type, and edit it. Now we can go for registration and permissions. By going to the pages, the admins can have different styles of content management, adding HTML and embed codes, tables, and any other material that for creating a course is needed. You can also create quizzes to assess the progress of the learners. Now let's go back to the other type for uploading a course. When you choose upload type, it will quickly provide the option of uploading it with one of the mentioned compatible formats. After creating the course, you can set the roles via the permissions for internal and external users. The next topic of my discussion today for you is dashboards, monitoring, and reporting for the management, administration, and learners. Each dashboard can be customized based on the roles that different users may have. For example, having the view to the started, not started, in progress courses, either they are optional or required, active permissions or number of attempts, and pass or fail rate all can be customized based on the roles. The learners can see their status in their own dashboards too. One of the perks of using Power Platform for ecLearn is the opportunity of using other Power Platform products like Power BI for dashboards and reporting. That would be the introduction of ecLearn Learning Management System. If you would like to be in touch with us, our website is eclearn.app. Also, you can contact us via our social media profiles. You can find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I will meet you in the Q&A section, and if there is any questions you may have, I am here to respond. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation.
Okay. Thank you for putting that together, Jose. If anyone does have any questions for Jose, please get them into the question block. I don't see any yet, so we'll keep an eye on that. If there are any questions, we can get to them at the end of the call as well. I guess here in the meantime, what we'll do is we're going to bring in Peter from. We've got Peter from. Sorry, just a second here.
All right, Peter, I have made you the presenter.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hopefully you can see my slide as well.
Yes.
So thank you, Nick and Jason, for inviting me onto today's call. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody on the call. My name is Peter Schmidt. I'm the COO and Global Sales Director for ISV partner Maptaskr. I've been with the company for about 9 months now, but prior to that, I was a BizApps technical specialist for Microsoft Australia. I've just got a couple of slides to introduce us before I jump into a live demo for you. So Maptaskr was founded in Perth in West Australia about 7 years ago. We're now the leading mapping and productivity solution for the Microsoft BizApps platform globally. We have customers around the world. We're used extensively in government and also in enterprise. I'll give some examples as we go through. But basically, our solution is unique in the way that it unifies business, geospatial data, and geotagged content in the context of a business process. And basically, we're a no-code solution. So we're both a Microsoft partner and an Esri partner, and we link those two platforms together using data-driven configuration. In terms of the technology stack, we exclusively run for Microsoft. We've actually built on Dataverse, so you can download our solutions from AppSource. When you deploy that in your environment, we create some extra tables within Dataverse for storing the mapping data and other metadata that we need. And so you just manage our solution and secure our solution as part of the Dynamics implementation. As I mentioned, we're used a lot in government, and that's one of the key things with them. We don't have any external services that we use. If you do any geo-processing of data, then we use Esri to do that. We're literally just a browser-based tool for visualizing that mapping data. We actually have a number of products. So we have a Power Apps Premium product that works for both model-driven apps, but we also have Canvas App Control. A good example of who uses that is we use Victoria Police Force use it, the frontline officers on their mobile devices. They have to fill in lots of forms a day, so being able to do an address lookup saves them a lot of typing. But also if there's incidents that's happened in public places like a park, they can just drop a pin on that location to record the location of that incident. Our core is really working with the Dynamics 365 products. So we integrate with all of the customer service apps and also with Office, with SharePoint, with Power BI. The sorts of use cases for that is if you want to do see your customer data on a map, maybe you want to do a geospatial query to say, I want to find all my customers within 100 kilometers of here because I want to do an event. We can do that. If you want to do territory management, again, sales and service territories and Dynamics are based on postcode, but we find in places like Australia and Canada where postcode areas are huge, customers want to subdivide those just by drawing a shape on a map and assigning that to people as their territory. So we do things like that, and we do smart routing. And then the enterprise product is where we bring in the Esri integration. So where you want to bring in maps and layers, etc. And then obviously the focus for today's call is around our PCF control for Power Pages. We have lots of customers that government in particular, where traditionally they've handled things like permit applications using scanned or paper maps. We allow you to actually capture that geospatial data digitally, so we can completely digitize the whole end-to-end process and streamline that. And then we work with a number of mapping providers. So for example, Bing Maps, if you need the base street maps and satellite maps, geocoding of addresses, routing, etc. Or if a customer is using Esri, we would use ArcGIS to provide those same services. So without further ado, I'm going to swap over and display my portals page now. Hopefully you can see that. As I mentioned, a lot of the use cases in government, we do municipal, state, federal government, revolve around permit applications. It may be a simple drop a pin on a map because I want to drill a borehole here. It may be more sophisticated where I need to draw an area on a map, and I'm going to show you an example from the mining sector today. But it can be very simple. If I just want to drop a pin on a map to report a pothole in the road or a faulty street lamp or something like that, very simple, just drop a pin on the map. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my interactive map now, and I'm going to show you a walkthrough here, and then I'm actually going to show you doing this in the context of actually a form as well. So the control here that I've got, we can actually drop into a multi-step form process for you. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to search for an address, and I found a place. Kalgoorlie is a big gold mining area in West Australia. It's just done a search with the ArcGIS map and brought up the street map, but what I'm going to do is actually turn on the satellite map and just zoom in a little bit more. So as I mentioned, Kalgoorlie is famous for gold. It was one of the richest gold seams in the world. Just to put that in perspective, I'm going to bring up some Esri layers now. So a lot of government departments make available this data via web services. So I'm just calling the web service in real time to pull back this data. And so the Mindex database is a list of all the mining claims in West Australia. So it's dropped all these little colored icons on the map, and this is actually pulling through the Esri symbology. So the colors, and there's some triangles and things like that on here, are all coming through from Esri. So you can see that it is a very rich gold area. They actually called it the Golden Mile, but if I turn on my measurement tool, you can see actually it was near 6 miles, 10 kilometers along that area. You can also see right in the middle of my picture here a massive hole in the ground called the Super Pit, and it is absolutely huge. So in my sort of story here, what I want to do is the pit wants to expand, and it needs to clear some more land. So what I'm going to do is turn on a couple more layers here. So one of these is mining tenement data, and the other one, which is particularly important in Australia, is we have all the Aboriginal heritage places as well. So as I turn on my layers here, I can actually click on any of these, and these are actually boundaries, and they have various attributes that we pulled through from Esri. So I can see the data about this particular tenement. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that value for later in the demo. And likewise, with the heritage sites, I can click on these, let's find one here, and again, find a bit more information about these. Some of them have restrictions around gender access, for example. So the next thing I'm going to do is I actually want to apply for a clearance permit. And so I'm going to go in and actually just draw an area on the map. So my boundary for the area is as so. So that's how I've created my boundary. Now, you'll have seen I had an option to upload a shape. Typically what happens is that when I'm doing a preliminary application, using a mouse to draw on the screen is probably good enough to indicate the area. And then before final approval is given, they will get a surveyor out to go and actually peg the site, and they will create the definitive boundary within a tool like Esri and create a shape file. And so that's why we provide the ability to upload a shape file as well. The other thing I can do with my map is, I can drop pins on it, I can draw lines on it, I can add annotations, etc. So that's basically creating some data on a map, and I can submit that on a form. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go through to a different screen where I've started doing an application through a multi-step form. And just to show how we can actually embed the control within a form, but we can also apply some smarts to it as well. So I saved that tenement ID earlier. And so not only can I do an address search using Bing, I can actually search the Esri layers and tenement layers. So I can expand that up to full screen. So I can actually find the map, the tenement on my map and select it. What I can also do then is, if I go on to the next stage of my application, is having defined that tenement, you'll see that it's brought up the layers again. I'll just zoom in on that. I can have it default to different layers as I'm going through the application. But the reason that I did this and selected the tenement first is I can also apply some rules to this. So I can, when I draw my shape again on this, I can say things like you have to stay within your tenement boundary, or I mustn't encroach on an Aboriginal heritage area. So we also provide that kind of logic as well. And as I go through it, I could click on validate and it would send that information into Esri. Esri would check if there's any intersection of the boundaries, and then come back and say, yes, that's valid, or no, that's invalid. So yeah, and I would carry on doing the application and upload additional documents, etc. So look, that's a very simple and quick overview of Maptaskr. If I just go back to my slides a second, if you want to see some public websites that have this, I'll put this link into the chat when I finish, but Environment Online is one that you can go in and use without any login or anything like that. That's publicly available. We have another one. This is, again, a West Australian government one where we have a heritage site registration tool and check-in tool. That's using the very latest version of our control, which I just showed you. And we have another example here, which is a federal government one on the right-hand side here, where there's a business portal where businesses that are applying to do major developments submit their applications, and then they have to go out to public consultation. So this is the public side of it, where I can see details of the application, and then as part of that form, there's a map embedded within it. The other thing actually I just wanted to show as well, just quickly, is with that mining application, what happens is when I submit it, it will go into, typically it goes into a case in Dynamics Case Management, so that record will have created that case, and within Dynamics we have the actual map that's been submitted available in here, and again I can turn on layers, I can add additional annotations, etc. So it's completely seamless from the user experience. So yeah, just to summarize, basically with Maptaskr, we make it easy to digitize map-related business processes from end to end. If you want to look at our solution, please download from AppSource and register. If you want the portal control, then please contact us. You have to install the core control first, because that's what we use to configure the solution. As I mentioned, it is all data-driven configuration. There is no code involved in anything that I showed you today. And yeah, we'd be happy to help with any POCs or any other work that you want to do. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Peter. I should mention Peter's down in Australia, and I think it's about 4:30 a.m. in the morning for him. So thanks so much for either staying up late or getting up early to do this. There is a couple questions here. So Lucas is asking, is the Esri map embedded via the ArcGIS SDK for JavaScript or as an open web map? He said, didn't manage to get my map as great as yours with the SDK.
Yeah, so Maptaskr is actually, the PCF control is what is doing the rendering. So we're just calling the web service to bring back that layer data, but we are rendering it using our own control.
Okay, and then Eric asks, can you review that map inside of the model-driven app? Was that ArcGIS?
Yeah, so what I showed you when I went to the case management screen was actually showing you that map within Dynamics, and it can be a custom model-driven app, and it doesn't have to be bound to a case. You can bound it to any entity that you like.
Awesome.
The other thing, just on the Esri piece, is if a customer has ArcGIS licenses, they don't need Esri licenses to use Maptaskr in the context of a business application. So Esri licenses are typically very expensive. And for a user that just wants to view that Esri data, you know, it becomes cost prohibitive. So with our solution, we just make it, you know, very easy to for business users to access that data in context without having to pay the Esri license.
Okay. All right. I think those are the questions. So again, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. That's an awesome solution. We get asked about Maps stuff kind of all the time on Power Pages. So this will be definitely something that we'll be presenting to our clients as well. So thank you for sharing that.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay, all right. Next we have Ryan and Chris from the Portal Connector. So if Jason, if you can do the magic to set up Ryan, Ryan, go ahead.
Sounds great. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, just gonna pop open the screen here.
Yeah, we see that.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, well, I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank Nicholas and Jose for the invite. I really appreciate jumping on this call. It's been a lot of fun just learning about a couple new solutions. So for us, we're an alternative to Power Pages, I guess you could say. So it'll be a little bit different presentation than I'm sure you folks are used to. But again, just want to appreciate the opportunity to be able to show what we have to offer. So we are the Portal Connector by Sylogist. Ryan Buxton, myself, partner manager with the Portal Connector. We're out of Barrie, Ontario, Chris and I, and our head office is actually located in Calgary, Alberta. So yeah, today we're just going to do a quick run through. I have a few slides to show just to explain some context about the Portal Connector, where it sits, and then Chris is going to show us a quick e-commerce demo that we've thrown together. Some of the key benefits, again, we're an alternative to Power Pages in that we're a separate solution from Power Pages, but we still sit on top of the Microsoft stack. So we do connect natively to Microsoft D365 CE, and then obviously the Dataverse, we can pull in any data from there as well. So we're a cost certain solution, so it is unlimited usage. There's no charge for logged in users or page visits. So that's one of the key benefits to our solution. Some of the brand recognition stuff. So a lot of our clients will take their existing website and we'll be able to create templates within our Portal Connector solution to be able to have that seamless login phase. So once you logged in from their corporate site into the portal site, it'll be a seamless transition that won't feel like you're going into a completely new site. We are built on top of a CMS called Sitefinity. So if anybody's familiar with Progress as an organization, they have a lot of web tools. And Sitefinity is their CMS that's represented in our tool. So basically our Portal Connector platform sits on top of their solution. So with our solution, you would get both the Portal Connector and Sitefinity. I did mention the direct connection to CE as well as the Dataverse. The other cool thing about our solution, because it is a .NET application, third-party integrations via API are very possible. We've had tons of clients over the years connect out to an example I like to give is just maybe a third-party accounting system where invoices might sit or something along those lines that they want to pull into a portal and maybe present those onto a dashboard to some of their clients or partners. Some of the key features, so we are drag and drop. We have customizations available, however, using some of the more popular coding languages in the market, so C#, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, or just to name a few. So again, because it is a proper CMS, you're able to go in there and do any type of customization you wish, but a lot of our stuff can be done out of the box with the drag and drop tools. Similar to Power Pages in some respect, but being a CMS, there's a little bit more intuitive features built in. We can also have Power Automate functions, Power BI dashboards, as well as some of the more key CMS type features such as blogs, forums, news posts, and videos. So a lot of our clients will actually use the portal site not only for a web portal for logging in and having a secure view into some of the dynamics data you want to surface, but they'll also use it for an actual website. So you can have some of those news posts about your organizations, or maybe a recent video that was made by some employees, maybe some blogs by some subject matter experts. So a lot of those can be incorporated onto the front part of the website, so the public facing website, and then if they want to dive in a bit deeper and register for a login or have a secure login already and be able to use some of the other key information. Then again, we have e-commerce. That's what we're going to show today. So we've actually natively built out an e-commerce portion into the portal. We've had e-commerce probably for about 8 years now, but it was reliant upon the Sitefinity application, which was deprecated. So we decided to build our own, and it also is compatible with Sylogist Pay, which is our our homegrown payment function. However, we also are able to connect it to various different payment providers. I know that it was mentioned at the beginning of the call, I believe that PowerPages now does Stripe. That's one of the ones that we would be able to use, and there's lots of different ways to be able to incorporate other payment providers as well. So Portal Connector SaaS, if anyone's not familiar with the solution, we were an on-prem solution. We've since moved to SaaS. This was in heavy demand from our partner channel as well as our customers that just didn't want to be responsible for hosting. So now we're securely hosted in Azure, and that's worldwide. We do have customers across the globe, so we're able to spin up environments in Azure locations wherever the portal needs to sit. So whether it's Australia, Europe, Ireland, Middle East, North America, we're all over the place. So we'll handle all the version updates and upgrades for those portal solutions. Again, cost certain, so unlimited logins and page views. And with the license, you're going to receive what's called a Sitefinity DX, which stands for Digital Experience, and then a Site Sync license, which is a really cool way to be able to sync environments. So say you have multiple different environments, maybe you have a portal for customers and a portal for vendors, but you want to change 6 pages within one of those, and you want those to change within the other environments as well. Site Sync is a great tool for that. So you can receive a production domain as well as any staging environments you want to create. So any typical type of development cycle, such as going through QA, then pulling into UAT, and then eventually into production. But you also are going to receive a full dev infrastructure in Azure. So all development you want to do can be done within that dev infrastructure. And just to let you know a little bit more about our organization, you have the capability to build it on your own, use one of our partners, or we have a full services team with consultants as well as developers that if you want to outsource your project to us, we're more than happy to take that on. So we'd have functional consultants be able to go through what you're looking to build in the portal, make suggestions, and then build out a plan to have that portal built out. We're starting around $2,100 a month, so very reasonable cost when it comes to licensing, hosting, having the full portal experience, and having any number of login capabilities. Again, not limited to the numbers there. So today we're going to look at e-commerce, Just Pay. So what we've built out is really just a module that you can spin up, and you're going to have the capability to link it to orders and product entities in Dynamics, full product list, product details, navigation, cart, checkout, those types of functions. So what we're going to talk about today is actually a single SKU membership, or sorry, a single SKU checkout, such as membership renewals. So that's going to be the basis of the demo today, but there is multiple product capabilities to be able to multi-select, add to cart, change your quantity selections, see the product descriptions. A lot of the questions we also get are shipping fees, tax calculations, payment providers. All those are incorporated into the module as well, and not to forget to mention Just Pay as well, which is again our homegrown payment provider that we've built out. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Chris, who's our sales engineer. He's going to run through the demo today, and we're basically showing like an association membership renewal taking place. And just for anybody that wants further information, we have a webinar coming up on December 12th at 10 a.m. And feel free to email me if you want to join in on that. That'd be fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, so we'll have a look at a brief front-end example here, and then we'll dive into the back end a little bit just to show you how our drag and drop widgets work. Just a brief note on styling here. As Ryan touched upon, we're using all standard front-end web languages on our platform. So this is an ASP.NET application, and it is based on a Bootstrap framework. So again, it is very, very user-friendly as far as front-end styling and the ability to customize your portal to fit in with any existing web presence or any existing UI as well. I'm going to log in with my test user here, and we'll have a look at a very brief example of our e-commerce widgets here. So there are about a half a dozen widgets to build out a standard sort of shopping cart experience. I'm going to go ahead and look at purchasing a membership here for this portal. We have the ability to display your products, and this is all coming from your price list entities in Dynamics. So whatever is associated with that logged in user is going to display here as far as your price list. We can also view those in a nice cart style here too. So I'll go ahead and view details on one of these. So this is our product list widget. Up in the left corner, you'll see our nav cart widget as well. So if I were to view the details on a product and add that to a cart, you'll notice that pop into there. We have the ability to view that on any page as well. Now what's really cool with these is that they are fully stylable. So as everything with the TPC platform, the portal connector is going to give you widgets that are drag and drop, so you can do a low code, no code version of virtually anything on the platform, as well as having the ability to dig deep and customize anything that you want. So we'll have a look at those, and I'll show you those templates in just a minute. So we'll go ahead and add one of these to the cart and view the cart. Again, this is our shopping cart widget. So each one of these pages is just displaying a single TPC drag and drop widget. So it is very easy to configure this to work with your Dynamics products. And go ahead and adjust the quantities here or delete my cart. And then we can go ahead and check out. As Ryan mentioned, we can tie in through Sylogist Pay with a variety of different payment providers, as well as custom payment providers as well. So we do integrate natively with several of the most popular payment providers, but we do have the ability to connect to basically anything that you're going to want to connect with. So then we have the ability to add shipping options here. Of course, different tax rates. All of that is configurable on the back end. If we go to pay, this is where it's going to pop up and bring us into our payment provider. I'm not going to actually process this, but what's happening here behind the scenes is we've created an order in Dynamics. If we did complete the payment process, that order would be fulfilled there and update the status. What I can do is, now that I've completed purchasing a membership for this site, I can go ahead and log back in. What that will do on the back end in Dynamics is kick off a business process. A lot of times our customers are going to want to actually have a manual process at that point to review and update the records, or we can kick off an automatic process, which I've done in this case. So I'll just give that a moment to complete. And then I'm going to log back in here. And you can see that I do have access to a membership area here. Again, very simple example, but now I can log back in and have a look at my membership details for that Platinum membership I purchased. We can also do things like add new records associated with that membership. So I could add additional contacts that are related to my same company account here that I've used. And these are all based on TPC list views. So we have the ability to show records on the front end, either using Kendo grids or these unique TPC list views. List views are really flexible in that we provide you with templating to be able to display that Dynamics data any way you want with an HTML template. So using HTML and CSS, you can style out your data to fit in with any existing UI, or basically do anything that your front-end developers can dream up. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and edit any of these records. We could add additional records as well. with forms. And this is all happening real time using the Dynamics SDK. So let's have a look on the back end briefly, and I can show you just really quickly what the platform looks like there. So as Ryan mentioned, this is an enterprise class CMS. So if you're familiar with any of the major CMSs, we work very much in a similar fashion. Basically, you're going to be building out your content types. Ryan mentioned the ability to post news, blogs, manage your images, videos, or documents. So you can create a really rich user experience on the front end. You can also create custom data types here. So for example, if you were to look at our documentation on our site and any of our widgets or a how-to article, we do have, we're utilizing custom dynamic data types there. So basically what you can do is allow any of your backend users a login where they can add any of this content, and it can be as simple as using a text editor to do that. In the case of TPC, we're working with forms widgets and again on pages. So in this case, our e-commerce widgets exist on the pages here. So if I have a look, we've just built out those pages here, as you see, like the product details, shopping cart, and checkout. If we have a look at, say, the product details, you'll see our drag and drop environment for building out pages. And we've simply dragged over our TPC product details widget here. So over on the right, we have all of our custom proprietary TPC widgets for interacting with Dynamics. And the e-commerce ones are these first half a dozen here. So we've got our product list, product details, the ability to add filters, etc. So if I go ahead and edit that widget, you can see it's very, very simple to set up. We're just indicating which pages we have dragged on those widgets to. As all TPC data widgets, basically what we're doing is setting a fetch XML, just the same as you would use in Dynamics to create any of your list there. And you can cut and paste your fetch there, or use our fetch builder to work with that. We have the ability to add dynamic filters as well with that. And then the really exciting thing, if you want to dig deep into this and really customize this, we provide the ability with everything to dig into templates here. So you can create custom templates using HTML and CSS to make this appear like anything you want. So it is fully customizable. Again, you can figure that right out of the box quite quickly to use your existing entities and have a shopping cart up and running, you know, within you know, a few minutes. Or we can fully customize this, so any front-end developer would be able to create the e-commerce experience that your clients would expect.
Excellent, Chris. Thanks very much. Just being cognizant of time here, we have about 5 minutes left on the call, so we'll end our presentation here. And again, want to thank Nick for the invite, and we'll hand it back over to the folks there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Yes, the portal connector is certainly something that we've used in the past. They are totally right about the enterprise CMS. We've also used it when you're dealing with on-premise clients, because Power Pages is an option. So yeah, very cool product, and yeah, shares lots of you know, if you know Power Pages, a lot of the concepts will be similar. But yeah, that enterprise CMS is certainly a nice thing to have when you need it. So quickly, I'll just touch on our next call. We traditionally we skip December because well, no one wants to join one of these in the holiday season for the most part. So our next call will be January 18th. I do want to open it up to see if there are any other last minute questions here. I think I see one more. I think it's probably for Peter, asking if the model driven app is built on the same PCF control. So I think they're wondering, is the PCF control that's shown on Power Page, is it the same PCF control in the model driven app, or are they two different PCF controls? I'm not sure if Peter, if you have the answer for that.
Yeah, currently they're different controls, but the product team are actually working on a unified control that will be used across the board. So there's slight differences in functionality and the way they work at the moment.
And so, Peter, do you want to make a commitment for timeline for the product team here today? I know product teams normally like when you do that, so like it'll be done next week, I think. Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, I'll say 2024, but that's the most you're gonna get out of me.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't see any other questions here. So I want to thank all of our presenters today. Again, thanks to Jason for helping organize this this complex call today. Appreciate all the attendees joining today. We'll see you in the new year. Have a great holiday season. And yeah, we'll see you all in 2024.
All right, great job, everyone. We will end the call there. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.